Greetings, my name is Ron Motilla. Welcome to episode 3 of Take a Swing. Today on the show, we have Eric Reveno. Eric's the associate head coach at Oregon State University with the men's program. Eric started his time in the NCAA as a player at Stanford University, and I've gone to the vaults to find this headshot of Eric
Oh
without
boy.
getting his permission. But Eric went from coaching at Stanford to playing professionally in Japan, and then cut his teeth as a coach for 10 years on staff at Stanford under Mike Montgomery, headed east and spent time at Georgia Tech on staff there, and then returned to the West Coast, where he's now the associate head coach at Oregon State University. Eric, welcome to Take a Swing.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's fun to connect like this. I will take my swing. And what I'd like to talk about is being a great teammate. As I think about my career, I think about the transformational teams I was a part of. And
Yeah.
one of the highest compliments I have from some of my older, now old teammates like I've had, and some of the guys that I'm most uh, I enjoyed coaching the most wasn't always the leader, but the great teammates. And so
Yeah.
I've been thinking recently what that means, and even doing stuff with voting registration and voting and what it means to be a good citizen and all these things, how
Right.
they tie together and taking collective responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over this framework of being a good teammate, just for people to think about. And I'm curious if anyone ever has any, your thoughts on it, and whatnot.
Sure.
And I think the buckets apply to a lot of different things. And you can use like any framework, look at it different ways. This one's been working for me. And the four pillars of being a great teammate are: one, to show up with positive energy. So as a good teammate, you walk into the space, you've got energy, you've got an open mind, an open heart. You're going to do your best to sort of continue and forward the intent of the practice, the meeting, or whatever it might be that's going on. You're there with a good open mind, and you're going to try to do your best. You're going to take notes and be engaged, whatever is necessary, whatever is required. You're going to try to show up with positive energy. The second pillar would be relationships, investing in relationships of your teammates. Some relationships will come easier. You and I might hit it off really easy because of similar background or people we know, but then there's other people on your team that maybe you don't. And so maybe making an effort with that, getting to know how many siblings you got, where are you from? Okay, and invest in those relationships to build empathy, to build connection, so that when you've got to have an honest conversation, you know where they're coming from. So to make that investment on the front end, good teammates do that. It's not a leadership skill, it's a teammate
Yeah.
skill.
Yeah.
And then third pillar would be understand your power. And this is one where we all have power. So, back in our sort of more caveman youth, a joke would be off color and you'd laugh, or we weren't as politically correct, and we've had this shift toward political correct, which has been fantastic, because when you laugh at something that's inappropriate, you're supporting something, or or your silence sometimes can be taken as supportive. And so, what are you supporting the team standards? Do you want to win? Like, it's all fun and games. It's fun. When does doing a good, like for me, doing a good Coach Rev imitation in the locker room, everyone gets a good laugh. That's fine. But then where does it becomes a locker room lawyer that's a negative? Or what you're
Mm.
posting on Instagram, is it supportive of your teammates? Is it supportive of the mission and the team? Same with the community and the other people in your community. Is it all supportive? The fourth pillar is to this a concept of making others better. And if you're a good teammate, you make others better. You make others around you better. So you show up with that positive energy, and you'll let a guy come in and start shooting with you as you're warming up for practice. You see a teammate, you're paying attention to your teammates, and you see that he's dragging a little bit. And you say, "Hey, what's going on? You doing all right? Hey, let's go. Let's have a great practice today." And it might feel like leadership to some, and the it becomes the whole this idea becomes of a good teammate. At some point, you're becoming a servant leader. So there is a
Mm.
gray area in
Yeah.
between. But I think just accepting that responsibility, that I can collectively lift the group and make others better. And the thing about this for me, this fourth pillar of making others better, is there's an element. that it's selfishness. Like if I want to win a championship, or if I want to live on a block that has, that's a nice block to live on, and if so, it's shaping your future, and there's a little bit of a element of taking control of your life and just being a good teammate and impacting your future. We talk about financial planning. Well, this is being a good teammate helps build the future you want, and it's in some areas that you might lean into more and be a leader. And I think, I think some of these things, I think a lot of times in college athletics specifically, we do a lot of leadership training, but we don't talk about the skills of being a good teammate. I think these four pillars kind of encapsulate them.
So good.
And there's so
Yeah.
how am I doing on time?
I think Eric, you nailed it, and I think the four are easy to digest and easy to understand for our listeners. The one that gets my attention, that captures my attention the most, is that we misunderstand the power that we have, and we think of power as a negative thing. But I remember hearing it about 15 years ago from somebody. The first thing you need to do as a leader is recognize what you have control over, power over. So I could talk to you about this forever. I'm gonna cut it short here and let our people to kind of stew on this, and I think people need to map out those four pillars because you've given folks a great framework. So thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.